What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of So What You Hear. I'm Jay.
I'm Craig.
And Tiffany is not with us this week, as y'all can see. She had some other engagements she had to take care of. But in her honor, we are going to have to start off by revisiting a segment from last week about our upsets of the week. Because my man Craig over here was very wrong with his Denver and Kansas City pick. It was supposed to be a shock the system upset. So I mean, I can see where you went there.
Yeah, but you're Giants.
I said Bills might be jet lagged, and if it wasn't for a no call on pass interference, I could be sitting here happy too. But Tiffany wants to play Nostradamus and pulled the Jets-Eagles game, and somehow that worked out for her.
Yeah. So Tiffany, congrats.
And sadly, she's not here because she's going to enjoy the second part, too. We got to talk about that Monday night game. Cowboys, Chargers.
Chargers doing Charger-like things.
It's just Charger. I will say, I've been a little hesitant on Dak.
Yeah.
And how Dak played yesterday, or Monday, I got to say, if he can do that, I think they have a better shot. If he starts using his legs like that and extending the pocket and giving his receivers time to do things and not just because they don't really run traditional routes. They don't really work off those plays.
Yeah, but they still need to run the ball a little bit more for me. They actually were running the ball a pretty decent amount of time. You saw me, but they also had some of the same issues in the red zone, but they were able to clean them up this week.
Yeah,
they're still having the issue like, we're down here, we're going to run, we're going to pass.
Well, Leonard Fournette's still not signed, right?
No.
He's still a free agent. I think the problem with Dallas right now with that, I don't think it's Dak. I think the red zone problem is I don't think they realized how much Zeke helped in the red zone. They have no power.
True, because Tony Pollard's more of a slasher.
So if you go ahead and maybe go holler at Leonard Fournette, or the trade deadline's coming up.
Yeah, I think Jerry's trying to get trade for somebody.
I've heard a couple people say that he needs to be reaching out for Derrick Henry.
I don't think he's going to reach out for Derrick Henry. But we'll see. I mean, what are they going to offer up?
First or a second, probably you'd have to. I mean, either multiple seconds and thirds or a first. I mean, you can't say that you wouldn't like multiple first-round first picks.
I don't know if he'll give 2 firsts for the almost 30-year-old running back. Even though Derrick Henry has been great.
Well, they could just give up 1 first.
Yeah.
And then just not swap. So they get your pick and Dallas's pick for that round. You could trade both of them for a top 5 pick.
I mean, that's true.
Get yourself a Drake May.
I think Tajay Spears is great, but I don't think he can carry the load.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't think he can carry the load, so I don't even. That's the one thing I worry about. But
yeah, but that's if Derrick Henry leaves. And we've gotten off on a tangent. But I will say I liked offensively what Dallas did a lot more. And if they can continue to do that, because it's not even about putting up all them points, it's about controlling the clock. They controlled the clock very well.
Their defense had a lot of rest. They did what you did. Big, long drives.
Yeah.
Eat up clock and make sure you put touchdowns on the board and not field goals.
And it doesn't even – and see, that's the thing, because I feel like some of them, when they went on it in 4th down in the early game,
mm-hmm.
If they kick those field goals, this isn't a last-minute thing. They're up by 6 going into the 4th quarter.
I mean, that's true. That also goes on. Their defense played well. They stopped. They did. The Chargers were driving here and there, but then they just dried up around. Yeah. They just dried up. And I don't know if it has to deal with Justin Herbert's that left hand. Because but I don't know if he uses that because he was
maybe steady the ball.
He overthrew open Keenan Allen
multiple times. Like there was at least I'd say 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Not even just passes, touchdowns.
And also that was just coming back. He's still getting his leg underneath him. I wasn't expecting.
He got punched in the face in the beginning of the game. That kind of throws you off a little bit.
Hey, look.
Yeah. And they're just Chargers. I mean, let's be real. What happened? What is Phillip Rivers? One of the best regular season quarterbacks you've ever seen. Big games in postseason, it was a lot of flaws.
They found a way.
Drew Brees before he went to New Orleans. A lot of regular season success, a lot of yards, a lot of razzle-dazzle, but if you look at big games in postseason, they don't do it. Okay. And the Chargers just keep charging.
Yeah.
I just can't. I think sometimes you just have to understand that, like Detroit up until this year. I mean,
Yeah, but they've been putting in the work for the past 3 seasons.
oh well,
we know that. So they're probably
but still,
yeah.
just the Browns. I mean, there's just teams that no matter how much they try to fix, no matter what they add, winning just doesn't necessarily happen. They can look good, but they
Hang on, the Browns did win this weekend.
well,
hang on. The Browns took down.
that is true.
They
I get that too.
Yeah,
I'm saying overall, like season wide, the Chargers have games where they're like, "Wow, man, see," and that's what we thought they'd get. But
yeah, but they really haven't done it this season.
Yeah.
So
It's just been bad this season.
Yeah, so it's not good. Like we said last week, Staley, that seat's getting hotter.
And yeah,
that seat's getting hotter, my man.
that's
So
yeah.
now we're going on
Now
to
we gotta go to the
biggest things of the weekend. We got no more undefeateds.
everybody's lost. It's crazy.
Yeah, we just talked about the Niners Browns.
Yeah.
Browns pulled it out. That was a really defensive game. But we also saw was that Brock Purdy, without his weapons, he's not moving the ball.
Really struggled.
Like Brock Purdy is definitely he's a decent game manager, but he needs his people in the game. Like with that once Debo Samuel went out, Ayuk was making plays and he was throwing some stuff to George Kittle, but that Browns defense was getting to him. They put pressure on him, took him out the game.
I think losing Trent Williams, that left tackle.
But he came back.
He came back, but he was
he was hobbled.
He went from like blocking well, playing real well, getting onto it to like
Ginger.
Ooh, they're beating him. And I think pressure Purdy's not used to having to worry about was coming.
His left side was on rather solid.
My left side is usually always perfect. And then you lost your running game.
You lost
which made him go completely.
Debo sometimes lost a bit of
yeah. So they went completely one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lose Debo and CMC receives too. So now you lost 2 receiving weapons and you lost your whole run game. That's going to be tough for most people to try to just work around.
That's true. That's very true.
The Browns took care of it.
Yeah, and they did it without Deshaun. We don't know when he's coming back either.
Nah, and I mean he was starting to gel. I mean that a bruised shoulder that can you don't it's one of those injuries that like technically you go by testing like he's healthy, but like that twinge of pain can cause a lot of problems when you're trying to throw and get hit.
That's true. I mean, it can only get worse, so he's trying to come back right and do it right. So I understand that, but and
with PJ Walker playing like that, you're good.
He was doing it was rainy. Let's not forget
it wasn't very rainy.
Like it was not like a calm weather game. It was very so.
Yeah, so that kind of changes things in that on itself. But you think maybe Cleveland showed this is kind of how this is what you got to do to them? I mean, clearly, injure their stars isn't something you're going to be able to do weekly. But
no, I think they do give a little bit of a blueprint. But we've only saw this because of injuries. But injuries happens to every team.
That's very true.
So, but if nobody got hurt, they probably would have rum shot on them. There would have been nothing. There would have been nothing to stop them because honestly,
in the beginning,
they were making plays. They were moving. But once Trent Williams he went down first.
Yeah.
Then Debo went down.
Yeah.
Then Christian McCaffrey went down.
And then it was just dead.
Yeah. Then there was no more movement of the ball. He was throwing to McLeod. He was throwing to Jennings. He had Kittle on some things, but it was just
It wasn't
the same thing. It wasn't really moving the change. But I mean, I think they said gives us the blueprint, and it kind of does humanize them a little bit.
Yeah.
Now
we got to get it.
Yeah, we now
the
upset of the week.
Them Jets.
Jets.
That's.
I'm happy for Zach Wilson.
I am
because I'm not gonna lie. We vilified him a little bit in the beginning. I definitely was one to say like.
I mean, do you feel like you let the defense down? Do you think you could have done more? No.
Yeah.
You really asked yourself with that one.
But I also think that he needed time to really. Also, Aaron Rodgers being there has been even being on the sidelines been helpful because he's been able to give him the tips and everything right then and there.
Clearly,
yeah. So
because the more he's around, the better Zach Wilson plays.
Yeah. So I believe that even with his being on his Achilles, but his mentorship is doing great things for Zach Wilson. He's making the right plays.
Achilles is crazy. He's already out there standing, throwing passes. I mean, clearly he's not there yet, but
That's the craziest thing I've seen.
That's not real.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, him being 39, I was like, okay. Let's be real. It's going to take a little bit longer to come back from this. But also, he's never had a major, and I think he has that collarbone one time. He's never had a major surgery, so
and he's got them Dolphins. Them Dolphins are doing wonders.
But I mean, finally, the Eagles weren't playing a whole game, and they finally they paid for it.
Well, I think the other thing, going back to the Jets, if you look, because like people got on Robert Saleh for saying we embarrassed all the quarterbacks we played. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Dak and Mac Jones had pretty decent games. They had a little rough thing going there. But if you look at the guys we consider superstar quarterbacks, because Dak's a star quarterback, but you don't consider him like top 5.
Some people do.
And some people are crazy. But you think Josh Allen, 29 of 41, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, 62.7 QBR.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, yes, they won that game. The Chiefs won that game. 18 of 30, 203, 1 touchdown, 2 INTs, 63.6 QBR. Jalen Hurts, 27 of 43, 279 yards, 1 tud, 3 picks, 60.1 QB rating. That sounds like embarrassing to me.
And they did it without DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner.
Especially, against
the Eagles.
With Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, that was
like, if you ask a quarterback of the caliber of Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, if that performance is embarrassing compared to what they expect of themselves, they're going to say yes.
Yeah. Now, I also think what this team would have been at full strength. Because this defense is obviously coming to play.
Aaron comes back at the end of the season.
As long as Zach Wilson can maintain,
keep him
and they keep doing they keep doing that, their run game of Breece Hall, amazing. I mean, Dalvin Cook's he's not really doing anything. Breece Hall being 100%, he's there to change the pace a little bit, but Breece Hall's doing either receiving and rushing, and then Garrett Wilson. He's showing that this is number one. He's open. Just throw me the ball. I'll make a play.
Jamar Chase, I'm always effing open. So it's there.
So they're definitely doing good.
But But when we go back to what you were saying about Philly, like you just can't you can't keep playing like they've been playing and think you can keep squeaking out.
No, not at all. I mean,
because of the what they did last year and they've been to a Super Bowl, blah, blah, people keep, they're a great team. They're going to get. I haven't seen a great team.
Well, we said every week. I said every week, definitely. They have not. They've had a run game that was very good, made a couple throws, and then they are doing the push, get a couple touchdowns at 14 points a week sometimes. Most of their touchdowns, Jalen rushes you think about it, he's rushing the ball, or it's like a third or fourth and goal rusher. He rushes it in. DeAndre Swift has a couple. AJ Brown, he's been getting yards, not a whole bunch of touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, and I love AJ Brown. So there's no.
Yeah. But I haven't seen it. The offensive line doesn't look like it's moving people for the run game like it used to. The defense on deep plays is getting beat up a little bit. And anything short, anything against their linebackers, oh my God, it's horrible. I think they got all pass rushers and didn't think about the fact
pass.
You have to be able to,
because they're betting on it that
you're going to get, but it's not, and that's why people are I think they'll because they can pass rush up the middle, and that's what Buffalo did. I'm but Buffalo has better layers. I think Miami's going to get in them this weekend.
That is going to be an amazing game. We're going to see because you're not going to be able to stop Tyreek for long.
No, you're not. Not with what they had.
And then Moats still 8 last week without.
Very much without.
And then you still got to stop Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
And the thing
about they have a tight end too. Is that Gesicki?
No, Gesicki's though. He's a Patriot now.
Yeah. Who
I don't know. I don't know actually.
But he's been good. They've been playing with him. I can't remember. So but, they're that good. And Philly might need to. They're going to need to tighten up. So, I don't think if Super Bowl is your goal, I don't feel like how they're playing is it. I just don't.
Remember, they're on this. This is the beginning of that run of the high caliber they're playing. So
they have their best team. The best teams they're playing are coming up now.
Yeah. So their schedule gets insanely harder.
I don't know.
We'll see how they come out of this next games.
Yeah. Sun's getting low, big guy. I'm just saying. But so now no undefeated. Everybody, you've seen the human side of everybody. Now you got to start getting into like, okay, we're getting almost halfway through the season. Who are you calling?
I'm not gonna lie. If it's not for injuries, I got the Niners. Niners are still going to be if everybody can come back in a couple weeks, because as of right now, there's nothing that is really big that be on IR or anything. No one's going to IR.
Yeah,
I believe it might be at best maybe 2 games,
a week or two, maybe 3 if they're doing well and they're trying to rest.
And you give Shanahan enough time, I think he can be able to get some stuff going so they can still move the ball, and usually they have. Eagles, they were number 3 for me. And the loss this week was just, Detroit's number 2 for me.
Detroit is definitely
Detroit is number 2. I love the way they're playing.
Detroit is fighting, especially watching how the Browns beat the Niners with just basically just pure physicality.
Yeah,
Detroit can do that.
If you out physical the Niners, because they play a very physical style of football, you got them. You gotta play them. You gotta punch them right in the mouth. You cannot.
I mean, Aiden Hutchinson is gonna, especially now that they're moving him around.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get to Purdy, and
they got some good young corners too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That secondary is stout.
So they're definitely gonna be a problem. And then honestly, David Montgomery running the ball.
Yeah.
And then
Jahmyr Gibbs when he gets back.
Yep. And then they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they got Laporta. And they still have Marvin Jones Sr. Marvin Jones Sr. So they got pieces and they can make moves. They can move the ball. And Jared Goff looks amazing in this offense. And Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator, he's doing his thing.
And there's no quit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these other teams, even some of the Kansas Cities, Buffaloes, you could see when people start getting up on them, when things start kind of going bad for them, they kind of quicksand. Detroit ain't doing that. Detroit is fighting regardless.
Yeah, they're never out of a game, but they've always been in games for the past couple seasons. They just weren't able to get over the hump, but I feel like they're over the hump now.
Now, I mean, I'll give Miami because they did go down 14-0 to Carolina, and then just immediately snapped that back and ran away with it.
It was over.
So that shows a little resilience, but
I was doing NFC.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then after that, honestly, it was the Eagles at 3, but. I don't know.
I might have to bump Dallas.
They might have to. Dallas might be number 3 for sure.
Yeah,
just because what they show. If they keep playing They keep playing like they played last game as Chargers. They will be fine,
controlling the ball and not making mistakes, letting the defense put pressure on the other side. Yeah, I think Dallas.
I couldn't even give you. I'm trying to think of a 14, but that'd be my top 3 right now for NFC. I can't really.
14, you're gonna end up going the Rams. Honestly, I might bump because now with Cooper Kupp back, I don't think they lose that game to Philly with Kupp and Puka Nacua.
But he was back for that game.
Was Kupp back for the Philly game?
Yeah. Is that
his first game back?
Yeah, first game back.
Yeah, well, I guess you still got to put him at 4.
You know what I mean? So Dallas. But I mean, do y'all play the Rams? Y'all play the Rams this year, right?
I believe so.
So the NFC West is playing, so I mean, we're going to see what they do the rest of the NFC West. NFC East. So we'll see. But the Rams do have a high potent offense. They are moving the ball. And then when Kyron Williams get back, he hurt his ankle, and then their other backup hurt his knee. So this is the most I've seen them run the ball well with a decent running back since they had Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
And obviously when Sean McVay has a running game.
They're dangerous.
They're very dangerous. So obviously that was missing in his offense.
Yeah.
And Aaron Donald's still looking a little bit like Aaron Donald, maybe not, but he's still causing enough pressure in the middle to their guys.
He's still wrecking the game for people. It's crazy.
And then I guess that'll be who's number 5 be? I guess it'll be the
Tampa.
I can't. Didn't Tampa just get beat by the Lions?
Yeah, but that's why we're putting them under the Lions.
Yeah, but I mean...
Because it looked good at first, and the Lions going to ram. We're getting to, the pulling teeth now.
Seattle. Seattle's been winning. No, they lost to the Bengals.
I know.
It's hard for me to.
It gets a little tight after that.
Yeah, so
because it's nobody else in the NFC North.
No, I can't, and I can't say anything. You think the Saints,
the Giants, and the Commanders both suck.
No, Um,
Saints lost to Tampa. That doesn't always directly correlate, but
Sam Howell and the Commanders are sneaky.
they got waxed by Philly, and they just got waxed.
They didn't get waxed by Philly. Went to overtime.
Oh, that's right. They
didn't get waxed by Philly, and this game came. They're deep, but Sam Howell is like, I'm talking about like as in we're not talking about they're competing.
Well, yeah,
that's more than what they've been able to do
for a while.
So Eric Bieniemy is making them compete. So I mean, they could be a friend.
They just look so out of it, and the team just seems out of it. When
I watched that game, they played the Falcons.
Yeah,
I watched that game, and it wasn't. I mean, Sam Howell was doing his best, and McLaurin was going. They finally got Robinson and Gibson on the same page a little bit. Defense was letting up some stuff.
I mean, is it really an accomplishment to be top 5 for a team that fought with Atlanta?
I guess not. But I mean, I'm talking about. I'm just thinking about. Is this really hard? You're right. There's no.
Yeah, I can't.
I couldn't even tell you the top 7 for the playoffs. I couldn't give it to you. But yeah, in the AFC. Ooh, I mean, okay. If I'm being honest, all the teams that need to win the AFC at the top who won, they still don't look like they're going to run away with anything.
I want to say Miami, but the Buffalo just beat them so badly. It's like
that's why they have another game. So we'll see. Yeah. Well, hopefully towards the end of the season.
I want to go number 1 Miami.
Miami.
I just feel like comparatively,
we saw somebody be able to stop the offense, but we don't know if they'll be able to stop them again.
Yeah.
And also your division opponent rivals usually know you the best.
Yeah.
So we're going to see, but Miami is definitely doing what they want from most other teams.
Now Kansas City having McCole Hardman back could be helpful.
Yeah.
Because they needed that receiving help, and
he knows
Mahomes and McCole Hardman have a pretty good connection. So, I mean, that's a viable weapon for him.
And he could also add some kind of, from a deep ball back to like Tyreek Hill. He got some
Which
speed.
then can maybe even make Kelsey more productive than what we're giving because it's not as collapsed.
When they're starting to when they're putting all the pressure on Kelsey, he's having a hard. His other receivers aren't getting open. Now he's like
people start getting the pass rush after Patrick Mahomes, and then just like let's just not give an open lane for Travis Kelsey, and they're struggling.
It's obviously to say that you just can't plug anybody into that offense.
No,
you actually need somebody.
You need something.
Like they have like a bunch of 2s and 3s. But so underneath Travis Kelsey, and their 2s aren't break. They're not. There's nobody.
There's nobody because you can have a number 2 or 3 if you have one of them that's one of them one-trick ponies that just can at least stretch the field. But if you got a bunch of underneath route 2 and 3s, we ain't got nothing. So they're gonna. So McCole Hardman helps with that, and we'll see how that takes them further because that could give them what they need to get back to being. Kansas City.
I'd give them I'd give them 3, maybe 2, Well, because Buffalo. Look, y'all took Buffalo to the
Jets beat Buffalo.
Yeah,
we took them to the brink.
Yeah, so and then they lost to Jacksonville the week before that.
Yeah.
So I'm not. They definitely have chinks in their armor. I don't know what's going on, but it's like
why the consistency just can't seem to be there.
So they got me worried. Joe Burrow looks like that calf isn't giving him much problems. I saw him a couple times scramble out.
Yeah,
I saw him making some throws to Jamar Chase, making throws all over the field. I will say they look like they're the best coming out of the AFC North right now. They look like they're coming. They look like they're finally back on track. One thing I will say is they need to start getting Mixon involved a little bit more. They need him to get going.
Well, some of that might also come from not even just that, fearing the passing game again. People are stopping fearing it.
That's true. So we will definitely see what happens there. So Miami, Chiefs, Bengals, Buffalo can stay in the top 4 for me. They'll stay in the top 4 because
I'll say Buffalo is still top 4.
Yeah, and then for the 15, I'm gonna try to give you a 15 here. You know what? People are not gonna think I'm crazy for this. The Jets there.
Yeah. I might. That defense is so good.
That defense won 2 championships, and as long as they keep these scores kind of low, I think Zach Wilson
is getting better every year.
So I'm going to say that the Jets might be the 5th best team.
Yeah.
I mean, I can gladly say that. Maybe Jacksonville, but did Jacksonville win this weekend? They did.
Yeah. Yes. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. Their offense is Travis Etienne, just a monster.
Yeah.
Just a monster. He didn't have a whole bunch of yards running, but when he made him count and got it 2 touchdowns. Christian Kirk and
playing pretty well.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley. Evan Ingram, man.
Evan Ingram, man. I wish he was doing that when he was in New York.
I bet you do. He's out here making some plays. But that's pretty much about it for my favorites right now.
I think on that one, I think I'm pretty much ranking them the same you just did.
Yeah.
I think I got to keep it all the same. We seem to be completely eye to eye on that one.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where I'm sitting. I'm thinking, who's really doing it right now. Next thing I think is a big deal is Jalen Ramsey's back at practice today.
Okay. Now with him being back, even though he's back, I wouldn't rush it. They're doing okay.
They're doing all right.
They're doing okay. Now with him back, it changes things though.
Yes, because now you play Buffalo again, and you have Jalen Ramsey on Diggs. You have Xavier Howard on Gabe Davis.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have many weapons outside of that.
Yeah, I thought Kincaid and Knox would be. I thought there'd be a bigger fold in their offense.
Knox was huge last year, and with what Kincaid did in college, I was just sure. I mean, I drafted, I think, in both of my fantasy leagues. I was like, oh, he's going to be one of the better tight ends in the league. Nothing.
But they've also been injured this past couple weeks. They've been dealing with some injuries
without doing anything.
Yeah.
But that's Kincaid's been a little disappointing. He's supposed to be like the next Travis Kelce.
Yeah. So
that ain't happening.
But I think Miami's going to be. Their defense is going to be what we think they should have been at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I think they get a lot of pressure. They got Bradley Chubb in linebacker. Who else do they? Who's on their D line?
I can't remember who's on the other side,
but they got some. Yeah, they got some decent people rush the ball, and then their secondary can be shut down. I mean,
especially with both of them.
That means as long as everything goes up and up, Miami's going to be a hard team to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Pretty good on them.
Exactly. Who else has been?
So, I was just it's been a lot of injuries, and some of them are getting a little shaky for teams. Anthony Richardson.
Gone for the year.
Gone for the year, having to get surgery.
That's it. Damn.
I'm sorry. Gardner Minshew, he has flashes, but
they are having trouble moving the ball. They got blown out.
Now, on some fronts, that was Jacksonville. Yeah. That is where he came from. They might just know him really well.
Okay, that's true. But that's very true. He hasn't been in Jacksonville, what, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Because he's been backups. He was in the Eagles backup, and he was somewhere else.
Yeah.
So either way, they got enough tape on him.
Yeah. And Philly, Lane Johnson.
That O-line needs him.
Really hurts them if he can't play.
He is an anchor for them.
That changes a lot of what they're trying to do. That could really mess up some stuff.
When he's there, the best O-line, one of the best O-lines in football.
Easily top 3 if nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah. It's bad.
And then the Niners.
Oh my God. Christian McCaffrey, Debo, and Trent Williams.
Yeah, but it's all different things. One got an oblique rib injury, the other one has a shoulder, the other one has lower ankle, knee type of thing. Because of the way that you saw his knee go, it was just like.
All of them, because Trent Williams, a lineman with a bad leg is sometimes worse than not having him there.
You rather him sit down because it's basically a liability.
As soon as you try to kick that leg and you got an injury, you're going to hesitate. Against somebody who really knows what they're doing,
they're
going to be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they all could be out for 2 weeks, or they all could be playing.
Yeah,
it's definitely game time decision and week to week how it's going to be.
And definitely the kind of injuries where playing, because that's the thing with it. Playing is does that really help?
That's true.
But Debo and CMC, that's your running game. That's
running game and more
San Francisco.
We'll see what they do.
I've heard that the Trevor Lawrence knee thing. Yeah. I've heard he's probably playing, but again.
Quarterback with
a knee, all that has to happen is a nice hit across the leg one time, and that's it.
Or scramble, it could be
just pull, blow. Yeah, it can be simple. You never.
And we also know the biggest thing people complain about is the fields.
Yeah,
and how everybody keeps getting hurt on this turf.
Yeah, and so you got grass in the schedule. But
remember your leg, the plants, and that you don't go nowhere. You get tackled. It could easily.
Yeah,
that's it. It's already weekly. It's already a little bit weekly. We don't know how bad it is.
Yeah.
And David Montgomery?
If Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't come back and start popping, that could hurt them. Because that running game really
Reynolds and Craig Reynolds in there, I think he's their third string, and I forget the fourth string running back. They're not terrible. They're not terrible. Like you saw them when they came in after he got. They were still moving the ball. He was able to. They were still able to run the offense.
It didn't just quite have the
it didn't have the pop.
Juice and pop that David Montgomery's running style has.
I think that's going to be.
Injuries suck. They very
part of every
do.
season. You're one injury away from being a Super Bowl.
Like I said, Justin Pugh was on the couch. He started at guard. It was our left tackle.
You heard him on Monday Night Football when he
straight off the couch.
Yeah, so that was great.
So, well, I think the final thing of relevance right now would be tomorrow night. We've got the Jags and the Saints.
Oh, Saints have a good defense. Derek Carr hasn't been as great as they've been as they have hoped, but Alvin Kamara's still doing what he does.
Because he's Alvin Kamara.
So the game can. It all depends on what Jags offense comes out versus that Saints defense and Trevor Lawrence.
And Trevor Lawrence having a knee. Cam Jordan could be.
He could be eating them up.
Yeah, that could go very.
But hopefully they try to take the pressure off him by using Travis Etienne to see how that line blocks. So if Travis Etienne,
and I mean the line seems like it's moving in Etienne.
Yeah. So, and they might be able to. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the key actually might be more of because I think it's going to be a battle. Saints defense, Jags offense.
The Jags defense.
Derek Carr has been up and down this season, and that Jags defense, it's been a little lamb, but they do get after the quarterback. And Derek Carr's got hit a lot.
That Saints offensive line
is not very good.
You're right. It's gonna be. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
That game tomorrow.
So definitely might be a battle of defenses.
I guess we'll just come down. Yeah, it could be defense on defense. I guess the final is. So if you had to put your money on it, who are you taking?
I'm gonna go Jacksonville 24-10.
24-10. I'm not sure if he's going to put that much. I think I'm going to take Jacksonville too, but I think I'm going more maybe 17-10, 17-13.
I think 24-10, but maybe 24-17, something crazy.
Yeah.
It could be. I can see the Saints getting a lot of field goals and maybe like one touchdown.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, so it's very up in the air, but
yeah, could be a good game. I think it could be one of the better Thursdays. Thursday can be disappointing sometimes, but I think it could be a pretty good game.
Yeah, but I think that about wraps us up for episode 6.
Everybody make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that. Go check out the social medias, Twitter and
Instagram.
This is So What You Hear. I'll let y'all next time.
See you next time.